Right, so Somerton and Frome, Somerset, the one by-election last night, Labour were not tipped to win, and boy, did they not win it. Neither did the Tories hold it, however, as the Lib Dems utterly destroyed them, in fact, gaining a ridiculously huge 28.4% in terms of vote share and winning 21,187 votes overall. That was 54.6% of the total vote. The Tory vote share collapsed. They still came second, but lost almost 30% of their vote share. So this was a proper get the Tories out by-election. The Lib Dems were the second place party. Tactical voting was the order of the day. People backed the Lib Dems to do so. In fact, it was so obvious they were romping home with this win. The Lib Dems had declared victory by around midnight before all the ballot boxes were even in. Sunak's candidate only managed to get a total of 10,179 votes, meaning the Lib Dems actually beat them twice over. That's the way to rout a rotten incumbent. That's how you punish a governing party that has spent long enough inflicting hardship and pain on the populace. It was the expected result. It delivered and then some. And you can't say much else other than congratulations to the Lib Dems for doing their job. Don't even think about going into coalition with the Tories ever again. And you might not lose your seat again this time, especially when Labour failed to do likewise in Uxbridge, though obviously they did a lot better in Yorkshire, covered in other vids. Labour also took a kicking here, though. Oh, Damo, come off it. You're not going to turn the Lib Dems beating the Tories into another Get Starmer vid, are you? You might be thinking that. And well, I did mention an anti-Starmer vote here too in the title, so we're going to have to mention it at least. As brilliantly as the Lib Dems did here, and as much as it is perfectly valid argument to make that Labour voters will have lent their votes to the Lib Dems in some quarters, I don't think that is quite the whole story. Labour didn't just lose here, they came fifth. Whereas last time out in 2019, they came third. Now, turnout in this by-election, like all by-elections, was down. Turnout was down 31.4%, so by nearly a third. But still, Labour's loss saw them lose 10.3% of their vote share. We also know it won't have all gone to the Lib Dems either, because they weren't the only party to gain vote share, despite the low turnout. Third place party was, just as in Uxbridge, the Green Party. In 2019, the Greens came fourth behind Labour. This time, though, with a lower turnout and more candidates, they came third to Labour's fifth. The Greens actually gained a respectable 5.1% in terms of vote share, actually winning 3,944 votes this time on their lower vote share, when in 2019 their total number of votes was incredibly less than that, getting 3,295. They gained votes and vote share on a lower turnout in this by-election. That's not insignificant. That is a good result for the Greens to build on. Labour, incidentally, got pushed into fifth by Richard Tice's private company Reform UK, in case you wondered. In fact, Labour did so badly here last night that their total vote share now sits at just 2.6%. Labour, 2.6% vote share in any seat in this country. It's crazy. Now, the Keithsters out there will point to this never having been a Labour seat. It was always going to be the Lib Dems, but hold the bus. Plenty were saying that with Labour's polling, Starmer could get all three. Now, the bookies were not so convinced, but the stormtroopers were. Bit of a shock for them then, this, eh? In 2019, under the Brexit election, which it was, which the Starmer always loved to blame Corbyn for, he still managed 12.9% vote share in this seat. So explain that one. In 2017, which is the election, of course, they like to forget, Labour under Corbyn got 17.2% of the vote, and that was just 3.7% behind the Lib Dems at that time, incidentally. Labour literally lost 5/6 of its vote in Somerton and Frome last night. That's not all going to the Lib Dems. That's a collapse in Labour's support when it's on that scale. The Greens didn't gain from nowhere, but gain they did to bring in 4 times the vote that Labour achieved. This might not have been a target seat for Labour, really, but loss on that scale is catastrophic for a party that thinks it's on its way to power. Yes, the Tories lost. That is the big story. That is the big takeaway from all of these results last night. Sunak got a kicking. Great. Yes, it looks good that they will be beaten come the general election, and thank God for it. But, and there is a massive great but, having lost Uxbridge to the Tories when they only needed half the swing their national polling indicates, and they got routed here in Somerton and Frome, their lowest number of votes and vote share in this area ever, and you can't ignore a stat like that. Labour, despite national polling, have not got that general election in the bag at all. Keir Starmer's record in by-elections remains as checkered as ever, having fought 14 of them since becoming Labour leader, and including Selby and Ainsty, has only actually gained seats twice. For reference, he's lost his deposit 3 times. What can you put the Labour loss down to? The candidate here was a trade union rep, and I've not heard about imposition of a candidate in this case. Perhaps because Starmer and co really didn't think this was a target. They didn't worry about such things. Who knows? I don't know a lot about the candidate in this case, so I can't reliably put it down to anything they may have said or done. Get the Tories out certainly accounted for some of it, but the Green gains, with the Green Party now a new home for socialists like myself, where we're welcome and we put our activism to good use, well, it does kind of speak for itself. Labour drove away its active left wing, and now the Greens are benefiting from that. I think that's what we're seeing here. And we've seen it in Uxbridge as well. Starmer's purging has harmed the party's standing, and no amount of polling takes that into account. The Lib Dems did the job. The Tories got utterly destroyed, and deservedly so. We can take joy in that today. But the Labour Party need to stop looking for others to blame when their leader is, and has been for some time, holding them back. And they do better against this last gasp of a Tory administration if they ditched him finally for someone who actually believes in, I don't know, not starving kids as a start. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please do like, subscribe, and share if you did. New content posted daily. Meanwhile, check out this video recommendation here where more Starmer diktat involving imposing candidates may have left the door open for the Green Party elsewhere as well. And they're bound to try and capitalise on it, of course, and well, I'll hopefully see you on the next vid. Cheers, folks.